feels like a long time for us. It's been exactly the same amount of time for you, but we're finally recording again.
I know. I mean, in real time, it's been like a couple of weeks.
We should stop moving houses.
In podcast time, it's been 2 weeks. Yeah, but we didn't fuck it up this time.
Again, there is still time.
This is the first time that one of us has moved. I mean, the first time we both moved. And
Yeah,
that ruined everything.
That is true. And as I remember,
And then I moved again.
yeah, I didn't have internet for like 4 months. I think. Was it 4 months?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because we moved in October and then we got it in like January. Yeah, January. So October, November, December, January. Yeah, like 3-4 months.
And we had the same thing when I first moved to London. I didn't have the internet for like a month.
Oh, that was it. And it tacked onto that. Yeah, that was way back in the heady days of Series 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think... No, yeah, fuck Season 1 and 2.
Yeah. Season
Because I think we got a couple of Season 2 done when I was in Manchester and I was like, well, I'm moving to London. But this is like the smoothest transition I've had with internet. Like, I arranged... I was like, oh, cool, can you just turn it off in this day and start in the new place on that day? And I'm like... Oh yeah, I think we can do that. Just walk out of the office at work because I'm an office person now.
yeah, office
Like,
drone.
I checked my phone. Your internet has been set up. I was like,
Fucking marvellous.
why is it never that easy? Every other time I've moved, it's been a ball ache. This time they're just like, yeah, we flicked a switch there and a switch there, and you got internet.
So yeah, it's been a little while for us. Lots has changed. You live in a new place. I'm a published author. I say, yeah. You probably if you follow our Instagram or mine or whatever, I've been putting it fucking everywhere because I'm like really excited about it. But there is a magazine called Pod Bible, which is a definitive guide of podcasts, recommendations.
That's why we're not in it.
We're this podcast actually isn't in it. I mean, my words are, but we aren't. So I kind of thought it's a bit cheeky, isn't it, if I go, hey, by the way, do my own podcast you could promote for free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, the hardcore listening guys have interacted with us on our Instagram, so
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. And
maybe they know who we are.
Wow, I very much.
Well, they know who you are now.
I doubt it, but but yeah, no. So I've written I wrote an article about crime podcasts for them, which was good fun. That was very nice to do. It was nice to see.
That's the point. I still need to read it because it's available on the internet.
It is now on podbiblemag.com, if I remember correctly. Failing that, you can get it. There's various shops and stuff. You go on there, Facebook, Twitter, all that sort of stuff. Website. You can find it if you're in London. You can go and grab a copy. It's really nice, actually. Stu was kind enough to send me one, and I flicked through it. My mum was very, very proud to see that because I sent her the link the other day, and she was going mental for it, and then sent me a strange text that I sent you earlier today, which is really funny. But yeah, so
Oh yeah, I have a solution to that other thing you were talking to your mum about.
Go on.
About that listening to the dab thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll tell you after
yeah,
the podcast
probably.
because it's not really riveting stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So if you like well us, and you want to read 300 words of crime podcast recommendation, then go and have a look at Pod Bible. There's lots of other cool stuff in it as well.
Yeah. Also, they're promoting much better podcasts than ours.
That is very true. I mean, it's got an interview with Adam Buxton, and I think in terms of the UK, he's probably right now the king of podcasting. So, but yeah, so onto
Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula lived in the 1600s.
Dracula, that show we covered in season 1.
I have only just recently, just checking. Yeah, I've only just recently got rid of my DVD of Dracula because I had a big DVD clear out, and I haven't watched it. And I remember really liking it. Actually, I might not have gotten rid of it. I might have just transferred the disc into a wallet just for storage solutions. Anyway.
Yeah, I did that when I was clearing out my DVDs when I was moving. Do you know how many DVDs I got rid of?
100.
2.
Oh. Were they?
I got rid of The Hangover.
Yep.
And I'd accidentally duplicated a Sarah Millican DVD, so I had 2 of it.
Which one?
So,
Homebird, Chatterbox.
Homebird. Yeah, I think it was Homebird.
Yeah. I think Lisa's got pretty much every single one of her DVDs. Oh no, there's one that she hasn't got. That solves my Valentine's Day worries.
Yeah.
No,
I sent Lisa a picture of them, just like, have I got all of them? Because I feel like I have, but I don't know. And she was just like, yes, you have them all. But yeah, so I got rid of 2 DVDs.
Oh, well done you.
And also found all of the DVD, like Blu-rays and shit that I've ordered from watching shows on the podcast and gone, oh yeah, I should watch those.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say before I went on about Dracula was back on track to our show.
Yes, we found the happiest shows in maybe the world, I think.
They, yeah, no, they're not happy at all. I was trying to think of a single bit of it where I was like, oh, this is lovely. And there actually isn't, so that's a shame.
Yeah, well, shall we jump into The Sinner that we think we both watched first?
Sin Sinner.
Out of the 2 shows?
Well, I watched this months ago, like actually over a year ago. I watched The Sinner because this was.
I watched it 2 days ago.
Was it the first or second? It was like the second or third show. Right, so on Mondays me and Lisa meet up with our friends Mitch and Amy, who you've met, and they used to live over the hall from us, and we do neighbour nights on Mondays, and that typically involves having a bit of chat, a bit of dinner, and then watching like a series of an episode of a TV show. And The Sinner was one of those last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year because they still lived in the flat at that point. And we fucking loved it. We couldn't wait in between. The week in between the Mondays was it was horrendous because you just wanted to get to the next one. So, but go on, what you set us up? Set us up. What do you think, and what's it about?
It's about a lady who's clearly had a troubled past.
That's all you're going to go with? You don't want to add anything more, or?
Also, she does a murder.
So the affair, is.
But the thing, I think. Okay, so yeah, she kills someone.
Yes.
And she has like weird flashbacks to some wallpaper that you don't see in the present.
Yeah, I will confess I haven't actually rewatched this because I thought it was still quite fresh in my memory about what happens, because as I remember in the first episode there's not a great deal that happens in terms of moving the plot along. It's just the setup to the whole show pretty much. So yeah, but crucially she stabs this guy a lot of times on the beach, but doesn't know why. When asked, she answers, "I've never seen that man before in my life," or words to that effect.
Yeah, it's just a bit weird, and the police are like,
"The fuck."
The thing is, like, one of them's like, "Well, she's confessed. Like, who gives a shit?" And then
it's
Harry
Ambrose.
Is it Harry who has the weird gimme pain fetish?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's weird to start with.
Is it in the first? Sorry, I'm.
Yeah, it's in the first episode.
Is it in the first one where she stands on his
hands? Yeah.
Oh, it's excruciating. Oh, when she stands on his fingernails. Oh, fuck! It's horrible.
I mean, it did answer my only question at the beginning, which was, why are his hands so bruised?
Yeah.
And I was like, but I get it.
What if you do continue to watch this? What I can reveal to you?
I'm not gonna.
Oh, you're joking.
I'm not interested because it seems
ridiculous.
Fairly straightforward. Like, she had a fucked up past. Her mother's kind of seems like a bit of a religious
freak.
Nut.
Yeah.
Therefore, she killed him. It doesn't seem to be. For me, there doesn't seem to be that much more to it.
Okay, it's not that.
It seems like it'll be a long-winded explanation, and she probably fucked him at some point.
I think you still need to watch it because it's not quite as cut and dry as that. It's very, very dark, and it's a real it's. I'm trying to think of a decent enough adjective, but I found it a really gripping psychosexual drama, and it's fucking insane. where it goes and stuff. It's just I've really enjoyed having the sort of not so much a who done it as a why done it. And Harry Ambrose is one of my favourite characters in all of fiction now. Just the way that Bill Pullman plays him, he's just got that weird sort of half grimace, half grin on his face when he's chatting to people, and you can just tell he's so uncomfortable all of the time.
Have you seen any of Gotham?
Like the first episode. Didn't we do it for?
Because maybe he reminds me of Bullock in that.
I don't know who Bullock is. Oh, the other detective.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Jim's partner.
Yeah, he's nothing like that.
I think,
Did we do
and
Gotham?
obviously there's a whole like sister thing that's clearly going to be a whole big thing.
Yeah. Yep. Nail on the head.
See, but the thing is, I feel like, for me, I kind of wanted it to be a bit like less predictable.
That's the trouble. Is I think the first
that's
episode,
the problem. We've watched so many TV shows as well.
Yeah.
that
that have a similar sort of thing. But the first episode is really, as I said there, it's more just a setup to the rest of the story than, because you get a little bit of character stuff from it. Like, she's out there swimming on her own, and then she goes under the water and almost seems to drown herself, but then changes her mind. But honestly, it goes to some really interesting places.
Yeah, the thing, just from the first episode, I just don't see that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I do remember thinking
I might give it a cheeky second episode.
This is the trouble, is because if you see the trailer gives away the entirety of the first episode, because you see her stabbing him in the trailer. So she's on the beach, she's cutting up some fruit for a kid, looks over, there's a certain song playing, and then she jumps up, stabs the fuck out of this guy, who she then says she'd never seen before. I fucking loved it. We couldn't get enough of it. And series,
is this one of those shows that does sort of like the Arrow thing?
I don't know what that
where
is.
it just lives in flashbacks.
No,
almost a lot of it. Oh, so a lot of it's not flashbacks.
No, there are some, and I think it's episode like 9 or 8. A lot of it is in flashback because you finally see exactly the events leading to her jumping up on the beach, or at least like the precursors, the things that form her decision to kill this guy she's never seen before. It's
interesting. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much in a psychiatric hospital does she end up in at the end of the season?
Well, I'm not going to give that away. Could be 10, could be 0.
I mean, I could just scroll down this website.
I mean, don't do that.
I might give it.
But
I think it's just because it feels like quite familiar.
Yeah, no, I can understand it. Thinking about it, like, there's not a great deal that happens in the first episode. I'm sort of just remembering the roller coaster ride of the entire show, because it's actually, thinking about it, it's not that often that I've watched the whole show and you've not.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I fucking loved it, just because I've watched Harry Ambrose doing anything, and series 2 might even be better than series 1, because we did that at the end of last year for Neighbour Night, so just before Christmas.
Maybe if I'm not enjoying season 1, I could just skip to season 2.
You could, because they're pretty separate standalone cases.
It's just the police, I'm imagining, that the carryover characters.
The only character that properly carries over is Ambrose, and I think that series 2 is where you remember just how fucking brilliant he is, and he gets better. So
yeah. Also, I really like the title sequence.
Yeah,
it showed that it was
nice,
very much a show about psychology.
Yeah.
With the like ink blot
Rorschach test.
Looking thing. Yeah, I knew they had a name, but yeah, I don't need to know these things.
You needed someone smarter to remind you.
I just needed someone else to be there.
But no, I love The Sinner. But
I can't. I mean, maybe I'll give it a cheeky second episode.
I think you should, because I think you'll end up with the Star Trek situation. That
that's a fair
series.
point, because that has happened. It has happened to me before.
you know, you could.
I think it's it's another Netflix thing. I don't think Netflix do pilots
Well, I
or
guess
first
there's
episodes the way that we expect them.
yeah,
to.
because
Because they don't have.
there's
to,
no need, is
'cause
there?
It's binge content.
Yeah. I heard Mark Miller actually talking about that, saying, you know, they fully invest in the idea or they don't invest in it at all, because there's no threat of you're going to get cancelled halfway through. Either they finance your idea because they like it, or they don't. So there's less of a
So
need
you're essentially
to-
you're guaranteed a season,
yeah, which is
or
cool.
that you're guaranteed to get to setting up new seasons, and they just go, fuck you, Marvel.
But I guess there's you know, invalidates our format of of taking the pilot episode.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I still need to be for me, it works for us. Both of us are very much like either you get me or you don't.
Yeah, yeah, completely. Like you said, I very rarely think, oh, maybe I will give this a second chance. But it's like, if you can't get me in an hour, then I don't know if this show's for me. Maybe at a push, 2, because otherwise you like.
Maybe I push. I'll give you a film's worth of episodes.
Yeah, because it's like, well, you know, if someone goes, oh, hey, once you get to episode 5, it's like, really? So I've got to sit through 4 hours of crap?
What's even worse is when someone goes, it gets really good in season 3, and it's like,
Fuck off!
I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, so
I can't remember. Someone was saying that to me. I think about It's Always Sunny. I think, and I was like, cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
yeah, I did exactly the same thing, because we watched the pilot last year, didn't we? Was it last year?
First episode of last year.
Yeah, I just didn't get it. Like, I've got mates who go mental for it. Like, oh, it's so funny. It's like,
That's the thing. I've seen random episodes, and I've been like, oh, this is actually quite funny. But then watching the first episode, I'm like, how is this going to get funny? Oh well, I'll never find out. So,
should we go and have an affair?
You're not even married.
It's not far off, I'll tell you.
No, it's getting. I mean, it's getting scarily close for me. You must be shitting bricks.
Nah, not really. Not really.
That's disappointing.
But no, not really anything to be nervous about. So
I mean, are you nervous that you're going to lose at go-karting?
definitely not, because I already knew that. And here's the thing, right? No one who's involved in this story will ever listen to this, so I can tell this on the podcast, right?
This is where I'm just going to clip
and just send it out.
just post it all over social media.
So
I'm going to play it at your wedding.
please don't. Oh, if this is being played at the wedding, hello, thanks for coming.
I'll just play up to that bit.
That's it.
No, I've got so many recordings of your voice.
Oh fuck!
I can
Now
make you
I've
say
said
anything.
that. Jesus, why have I done that? It's all massively expensive. We didn't want you all here, but you've all forced your way.
That's sort of what I was going to make you say.
Let's be honest.
Except it was going to be more like, fuck off, you cunts.
Cut the room in half, and this wedding's no different. So, yeah, that's.
I didn't even care if she turned up. Look at this man in the skirt next to me.
Disgraceful behaviour. And he's having the whiskey again. Put it down, you prick.
Put it down. Why is he standing over that fan?
Yeah, so as part of my stag do, which obviously you're a part of, we're going to be going go-karting, and it's a track that's local to us. And my dad and my brother came over the other day just to picking to a drop or something. Anyway, so we were having a chat about the stag and that, and he's like, oh, yeah, we're well up for it, sounds great. And I said, where's the track then? I said, oh, it's just down the road. So they said, oh, okay, well, I think what we'll do is we're going to go and get some practice laps in. And I'm like, hang on a minute, that's cheating.
Oh, they're cheeky fuckers.
He's like, no, we're definitely doing that. So then cut to weekend just gone. Speaking to Lisa's dad, so I was like, oh yeah, so the go-karting then, because he likes go-karting. I was like, that should be a laugh then. He went, I cannot bloody wait. And then he went and got his own go-karting helmet out.
Oh, we're all fucked.
Exactly, and he's not a big guy either. He's nippy, and he's got a pretty heavy right foot, so he's gonna fucking bomb round that track. And then we're just leaving. So, oh, thanks very much. Have a lovely day watching the rugby, having a roast dinner. It was great. See you later. He goes, "Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll all go down and have some practice laps on the racetrack one weekday evening, get it all cheap, and we'll go and have some practice."
You're all fuckers.
Well,
I was not going to practice until the day,
oh, that's all right. You can
but
go on
I'm
half
thinking I might have to come down to Southampton.
Can you imagine that if every person in the stag party was like,
Apart from
by the way, yeah, so you're all like wicked at go-karting. I get in, chugging along, like, oh, this is great.
It's alright, Jack will be slower than you.
So yeah, the affair.
Yeah, I mean, also, I'm looking forward to the archery as well. That should be fun.
I think that is going to be a right giggle. I don't know how much it's going to hurt though. So basically, the other part of the stag do that we're doing is, yeah, it's basically
Wait, we're not shooting arrows at each other, are we?
Mate, have you looked at what it is?
No.
Have you actually not?
I pretty much got to go-karting and just went,
Oh,
yeah,
for
okay.
fuck's sake, right, okay. So I'm going to explain. I can't believe you haven't even looked at fucking. Right, so what it is, you know, paintball.
Oh my god.
It's like that, but the arrows have got big cotton buds effectively on the end of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we're gonna be legging it, you know, running around this field, shooting each other with bows and arrows. Did you think we were just gonna do a bit of archery?
Yeah. I was gassed.
Fuck's sake!
I mean, it's still gonna be fun, but it's gonna make me run.
There was a link to a video in the email
I
of what it
know.
was.
But I was never gonna say no anyway. Why not make it a surprise?
Oh my
Turn
god!
up in like proper smart shoes and just like, so go run around this forest. Like, no.
Unbelievable! Fuck's sake!
Yeah, we'll get a couple cans, make an afternoon of it.
Oh man, I can't wait! I can't believe you didn't even look at the thing. That's why I sent you the text saying, "Oh, this is gonna be great fun."
I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna need to get fit.
I think some sort of box protection is in. So like yeah, so effectively you've got like bits of cover. It's laid out like a paintball field.
I mean,
You
to be fair,
shoot
this is
them.
going to hurt less than paintball. I hope.
I think a lot of places are like, oh, if you catch an enemy's arrow, you get an extra point, or so, or you kill them, or that counts as you killing them, or something. But
I don't think they know how archery works.
What's right? You've never been in a medieval battlefield before. That's exactly what happened. You've not seen Game of Thrones?
No, I've seen Kingdom of Heaven though,
Oh, it's a shit.
which incidentally had a lot of people that I kept recognising from Game of Thrones.
Wait, is that the one? Which one's the one with?
That's Orlando Bloom.
That's him.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom, Liam Neeson, David Lewis.
Fuck me. Well, yeah, that was on. We were on holiday in Menorca. Was it Menorca? Yeah, and that was on, and me and my dad sat there and watched it. And 10 minutes in, we just looked at each other and was like, "What is this?"
No, I love that
Oh,
film.
it's shocking. So boring.
Yeah, you only got 10 minutes in. You didn't even get to Jamie Lannister.
He
being a cunt.
he wanders about, basically solving everyone's problems. Like, oh, I'm Jesus, I'm fucking brilliant. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, and then he gets to the end and he's like, fuck it, you can have Jerusalem. I don't give a shit. And he goes home. But no, there's someone else from Game of Thrones in it, but I can't remember who.
Is it one of the dragons? Then
No.
I don't want to know.
I know, because it's got Jamie in it who just goes,
Oh, my
like,
hand.
right at the beginning, it's just like, no, it's just like, he says something like, I'll fight you for something else, and it's just like, stupid Jamie. Don't kill Ned. But, yeah, so the affair.
That was a bit of a digression, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, yeah, we started talking about your stupid fucking wedding.
I'm glad that we both refer to it with the same thing.
Same
Stupid
reverence.
fuck.
Stupid fucking wedding. Yeah, so
The affair. I thought this was
I didn't
fucking
realise
great.
that. Yeah, because it's not so long ago that I watched Luther for the first time and saw Ruth Wilson in anything for the first time, and now she's back.
Yeah, it took me a little while because I was watching it and then we were sort of, because I watched it with Lisa, that's that girl from Luther. No, it's not. No, it definitely is. And do you know how I knew? Her top lip was really annoying me again. Like in Luther, her lip really winds me up, and it was back, and I was like, oh, fuck, here we go again. Yeah. So The Affair. It's Dominic West, isn't it? It's not Dominic Cooper.
Yep.
So
The thing is, I recognise him from somewhere, but I just don't know
The
where.
Wire.
That makes a lot of sense.
He's McNulty in The Wire, isn't he?
And they're in this time, instead of just talking about them in the same episode, they're in the same TV show. Oh, this is amazing. But yeah, so starts off with Noah being a bit like attractive to women, I guess, but not returning anything. And I was like, oh, he's gonna fuck her, to the first woman that I saw on screen. So I was like, it's called The Affair. And the first episode called One, and I was like, it's like Monster of the Week, but with fucking. Sadly, it is not.
That's what I understand the Pornhub box set to be.
Yeah. I mean, I've got it.
It's difficult.
I had to get it's got its own bookcase. It's got lights and everything.
What was it? There was a podcast I was listening to where they were making that joke that like Pornhub being a box set. It was like, I find it difficult to keep up the storyline when they're going from taxis to hospitals to driving instructors.
That's a fair point.
Actually, I'll tell you what it was. I think it was Hardcore Listing. Actually. But yeah,
they should sponsor us. You're giving them a lot of free promotion.
I don't think they'd.
To the people who already listen to us.
Let's be honest. Those people have probably heard of that podcast too. Yeah. So sorry. Carry on. He doesn't shag the girl in the swimming pool, which is, I think very clever.
Hygienic.
Hygienic.
Then he goes back to his wife, and they're just packing up to leave for the summer because one of their kids is too shit at school. Or that's at least the impression that I got. They're just sort of like, this one kid's a problem. So they're like, well, we're going away for the summer so that you'll be better. And then, because like the show's called The Affair, and then he's like walking back in to get this one troubled kid. And the kid's just pretended to hang himself.
Honestly.
And at that moment I was like, this is very not the affair I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like it because the music it properly tricks you, doesn't it? Like the music swells and starts doing that tense thing.
Yeah,
with
like
the high
I was
string.
sat there just going like,
oh fuck, he's actually died.
Like, but the thing, like, I kind of expected it because they were like, oh, well, I expected something because they're like, oh, the kid's gone, and I was like, oh, maybe the kid gets kidnapped, and then he fucks loads of women. I don't really understand how trauma works.
Fake kidnapping, fake abduction. That's what the next one will be.
Yeah. And then, so he just, like, the kid's, like, pretending to hang himself, and he's like, I thought you'd be proud of me, and it's like, fucking why?
Honestly, me and Lisa, we watched that, and we were both like, I would smack the shit out of that kid for doing that. It's like, fuck, you need to go in on him, because he really lets him off. He's like, you're troubled, it'll be fine. He's like, no, you don't fucking do that, you little cunt.
Can you imagine if he just walked in, realised it was a prank, just gone, oh, thank God. And then just left for the summer.
Or if you really start out, it's just, oh, not another one. He looks up like, what? Is it, what? No, nothing.
Why does this only happen when they get to 12? Yeah, and then they go on their little road trip. They go to this
diner?
cafe. Oh yeah, cafe, diner. That's what they're called in America. They don't have cafes. Stupid, uncivilized bastards. I mean, most of our listeners are, I think, in America. So sorry.
Not most of, surely not. We got some, but not most of.
No, nearly 200 downloads when I checked earlier.
Bloody hell.
In America, more than the UK. Shows how good our friends are.
No, it just shows how few friends we have.
Yeah. So he meets Ruth Wilson's character, whose name is Alison.
You totally just read that off or something because you forgot.
Yeah, I did. But so his daughter starts choking, and then Alison's pick something up because the dad saves the daughter. It's important for later. And then
wait, is that revealed later what it was that she picks up? Because I can't remember what it was.
No, it's way better than that. Like, the reason that's important for later is because I was sort of watching and I was like, I wonder what that is. And then, yeah, we'll get to it.
Wait, so have you seen all of it now?
No, I've seen just the first episode.
Right.
It's important in the scheme of this episode. But so then they meet again later on the beach.
Can I just really quickly jump in there and point out something that immediately twigged me thinking this show's going where I think it's going. The waitress Alison, who they supposedly have, this is the first time they've met. She has a plaster on which has a picture of Captain Hook on it, which the daughter points out, saying, Captain Hook plaster, we have those at home. And that was when my mind went, hang on a second, right, continue.
Yeah, so then they meet again later at the bonfire because he tries to bang his wife again, and another one of their fucking kids comes in and just goes, I want to sleep in your bed. And I was just like, tell him to wait a minute so you can put some fucking clothes on. and then she's just like, yeah, no, you stay outside the covers. And I was like, what the fuck's he gonna do? he's just not finished.
I'll be
so
here
then he wakes up in the middle of the night and then sees a bonfire and is like, ooh, fire. And then walks towards it like a caveman. And then he meets Alison again and she's like, oh, you found me. And he's like, what? And then because it makes it imply that he's stalking her.
Yeah.
Or she's stalking, I don't know. And then they see her house and her outdoor shower, which they're both obsessed with, and I want one so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
But the thing, I was sat there going, that'd be really cool. I really want one of those. And I was like, it's also fucking February.
And England.
Yeah. So I was like, it would probably kill me. So
I think you should get one.
And then no, rude. So then Alison's boyfriend is there or comes home.
Cole, this chap is called.
And then sort of, I guess, just
rapes her.
Well, yeah. But then, so after because in the first half it's rape. In the second half, which is just the same time frame, well, the same day from
Alison's perspective, or is
everything's different?
Everything's completely changed. Well, most things are the same.
Like, as soon as, like, so it's just her normal day. Is actually like the first bit of her day is pretty boring too.
It mirrors
Noah's is.
It does mirror his, like the sort of the failed sex that Noah and his wife has is sort of mirrored in the completely unemotional mechanical sex that Alison and Cole have.
Yeah, and then she just turned around like, how many times do you think we've had sex? And he's just like, 10,000. She's like, okay, and then just lies down. I was like, man, something's happened to her.
Yeah. Clearly something's because her character, when it's told from her point of view, her character completely changes, and Noah's completely changed. They each, because you figure they're both being questioned. That's
because this is one of those, like, you know, we've discussed before that we love an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
This is two of them telling the same story
with differences,
back to back. And also what I'm glad they did is they just went like, cool, you have half an episode, you have half an episode, rather than sort of being like, oh cool, you tell this 10 minutes, then you tell this 10 minutes, then you tell this 10 minutes. Like, that would have gotten confusing. But I didn't, because you don't really notice that until like the diner scene, where it's completely different.
Like,
she saves the daughter. Yeah. I was like, oh.
Well, even the method that they save it, like, because in the first story, Noah does the equivalent of what they're not called.
It's the Heimlich.
It's not called the Heimlich anymore. I went on a first aid course last year. It's not called. It's called abdominal thrusts now. Apparently, you're not allowed to call it Heimlich maneuver.
That sounds sexy.
It's anything but.
Yeah.
But so he does it by like patting her on the back and squeezing her chest and everything.
And then in Ruth's Mary,
he turns a complete
flips her upside down and just goes, fucking hit her. Yeah. But like that, I think that scene, like just the fact that we've already seen that scene before, it's the same thing that do you remember when we did, what was it? I've completely forgotten. That TV show with the robots.
Do you want to narrow it down a bit? With the robots?
Yeah,
Mr. Robot?
No.
How,
I didn't have robots
how
in
long
it.
ago did
White? No.
Right, hang on a minute. The TV show with the robots and it didn't have robots in it?
No, it didn't have... Mr. Robot doesn't have robots in it.
Oh, right, no, but... So the one you're trying to think of does have robots in it?
Yeah, it's the Western one.
Oh, Westworld.
Yeah.
Fuck
White
me.
something.
That's
That was-
podcast gold, that. Two people trying to remember something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it reminded me of that, because there was... I don't know if it was in the first episode, but later through it, you see the same scene again, but with slight differences.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about Westworld, is it was as the like robots were becoming a bit more like self-aware in that. But this, I was just sat there like for a moment, just like, I fucking like this shit.
Yeah. Because not knowing anything about it, I just assumed it was like, oh, this would be a cool drama and it'll be about... The fact that it's
I finished watching The Sinner and just went, The Affair is not going to be this sort of show.
Yeah.
And then I was going through this and I was like, oh. Like after the first half, I was like, okay, they're being asked questions and I'm assuming it's the police.
Yeah.
So clearly something happens, but it seems like there's a big old gap.
Well, the fact
between
it's once
this, like the what's happening then and like the question.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's supposed to have happened at this point, but I have my suspicions because we find out in Alison's half of the show that she says, or at least we're led to believe, she is still recovering and grieving from the loss of her son, which is, that's affecting, it's causing her to behave like, I wouldn't say irrationally, but she's coping with...
She's going through some shit.
Yeah, and Cole is completely not understanding and is a bit of a dick, and so initially I thought, I wonder if it's because they have an affair. Are they going to kill Cole?
Like at the end of the first half, I was like, I think they're going to kill him.
But
at the end of the second half, I'm like, I'm not sure.
I think that there has been a death, and they're retelling their stories to try and cover it up because there's a reason why. Well, perhaps they caused it, or they don't want to get caught out because they've had an affair. I think it's the son.
What if they're telling this story, right? They're telling this story from two sides, and they're purposefully
trying to pin it on the other.
No, they're not even trying. I don't think they're trying to pin it on each other. They're just telling stories that make it look like the other was more in the wrong.
That's exactly what they do, I think.
Reasonable doubt.
Because if you think about the things that do change, it's the fact that in Noah's version of the story, it's Alison who's making the advances, and he saves his daughter. In Alison's story, he's making all the advances, and she saves the daughter. And Lisa pointed out, she said, do you think that her son died through choking? Because she was so horrified and shocked when Noah's daughter starts choking. I was like, actually, you've got something there. But then having sat here and thought about it, I think there's the death that has occurred is her son's, and she's trying to get around the,
No, but isn't the son's already dead before she...
Yeah, but I don't know, because I think when they're in the restaurant, if you think back to Noah's... if you've seen the show, by the way, this is a completely irrelevant conversation because you know what's happened. But if you think back to Noah's story, there's a knowing look between the two of them, and she touches his shoulder and he looks at her like, what the fuck are you doing? Get off me, I'm with my wife. I don't think that's the first time they met. So I think they've been having this affair on and off for years.
Interesting.
And it's somehow...
they're trying to make out like this is the first time they met.
Yeah, and it's somehow led to her son's death. That's my absolute guesswork of it.
I'm just assuming that they've killed someone. Like someone said, I have no idea who. There are so many candidates.
Yeah.
What if it's just like they kill his father-in-law.
I mean, I think he deserves it because he's an arsehole.
Yeah.
It
Everyone's
could be.
got one book in them.
Very few have two. Like, yeah, cheers,
Like,
mate. Thanks.
Give it a second, you're gonna have one up your ass, mate.
Yeah, the good book. It's a big one. But yeah, I am 100% going to carry on watching this. I think Lisa and I are
Yes.
going to watch this.
So am I. Like, so much self-control went into not watching episode 2 yesterday. Like, Ben, my new flatmate, was just like, so why aren't we watching the next episode? And I was like, podcast. He was just like, oh, so you just watched the first one? I was like, yep. I mean, to be fair, I've never really explained what this is.
Oh right,
before.
okay. Sorry, I thought because you live with, he knew what this was all about. Then
Kind of, but like, I just sort of go, oh yeah, we watch like the pilot episodes of TV shows, and then sometimes I keep watching them. I think he was expecting that because I enjoyed it, I was just going to keep watching it there and then. But I wanted to do, like, I love doing the podcast where I've only seen the first episode.
yeah,
Especially if it's something that I really enjoy.
it makes for better discussion because we're both thinking, oh, what if it's this? What if it's that? You know, as we have done with this.
Yeah,
So.
like that one time that we predicted that Spider-Man would die in Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Oh, that was a bad move.
Oof.
What was the other thing that we?
That was brutal because
predicted?
it came out after Infinity War as well. Like, we recorded it like a month before or something. We're like, oh, we'll have seen Infinity War. Shame they killed Spider-Man.
I was like, oh no.
Oh Lord, no.
I think maybe like when it's a month away from Endgame, we do the same thing. It's like, oh fuck, we've done it again.
We'll just record like little snippets of just every character that might die or survive.
So
That's soon though. Soon. And Game of Thrones. Oh,
Oh.
I'm looking forward to the first half of this
I
year.
think
The back half's gonna suck.
we've lined up our neighbour nights that we coincide now with the start of Game of Thrones. So we're watching a show that's 10 episodes long. I think at the time we made that decision, there were 10 weeks between us and Game of Thrones. So then we can go straight into Game of Thrones, and it's gonna be fucking great.
Yeah. Game of Thrones is the only reason I haven't cancelled Now TV. And also The Affair, because that's on there too.
I've watched quite a lot on Now TV. Do you know, I got an email from Now TV just like, oh, do you want a free Now TV stick? I was like, yeah, I have a base in front of that. So they just sent me a stick. It's great.
Oh. I mean, if they sent me a stick, I'd probably... If you're listening Now TV,
They're not.
give me a stick.
Yeah, so The Affair, definitely going to watch. The Sinner, I have watched all off. So
Listen, I'm going to give it another chance, maybe after The Affair.
yeah, I think you should. But there's 4 series of The Affair, you know.
Well, I mean, we knew there was a bit of time between the arrest.
That's fair. Yeah. Our next episode, I'm really hugely looking forward to, and Lisa as well. She's been bugging me to start watching Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and she's like, "When are you doing it on the
Yeah.
podcast? Because I want you to hurry up and get there." I was like, "Yeah." Like this was like a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, it's a couple of weeks away. And then you moved and didn't have internet, and we missed 2 weeks of recording. She's like, "Oh, so when are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, it's still a couple of weeks away." She's like, "What?"
Sorry.
So yeah, Marvelous Miss Maisel and Glow, which I'm really, really looking forward to watching both of these.
Do you know, I think I can hands down probably say we're going to enjoy The Marvellous Miss Maisel.
I think so because it's people who make Gilmore Girls, and it's about
Yeah.
a woman trying to stand up. Fan
Yeah.
bloody tastic.
And Glow is about female wrestlers.
Woohoo!
So it might at least be sexy.
Oh dear, that's very reductive. You're doing a lot for the for gender politics with that sort of opinion. Alright, cool. And then I can't be bothered to work out what's in between. Hang on, if I look in between what's coming out on Co-Directors, our sister podcast. Next one
Spielberg.
is Spielberg. That's a good one actually. Quite enjoyed that film that we were
Yeah.
discussing.
Jewel.
Yeah. So
Lots of trucks. Well, I mean one truck.
many number plates. That's all I'll
Yes.
say for
Spoilers.
Anyway, fuck you.
I guess I'll stop recording now.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Twat. Fuck you.